We also have some of the team from UnitedHealthcare here today. So I'm Danielle Bond at Radius. I believe Clue Connors from Radius is here. I see him, Haley King. And Andrea, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Andrea Thompson. I'm a marketing manager for IFP at UHC, and I'm so happy to be here today. I just wanted to say a couple of things. First, again, thank you to Radius and team for all of this. We're really excited to have these materials on the platform and really meeting you where you go for things. So we all know that growth and retention go hand in hand. So in our research, it's showing that the more that the member engages with the benefits of the plan throughout the year, they're more likely to renew. And then if you add that in with the research that the more an agent reaches out throughout the year, the more they're also likely to renew. So this seemed like the perfect opportunity to bring all of those elements together for you in these materials we're going to be reviewing today. So we're just getting started, so please feel free to give us any feedback or any additional needs that you might have as these campaigns get built out. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Is anybody else from the UHC team here that wants to say hello before we get going? Don't see anybody, but there's a lot of attendees so far. So, okay. So what I'll ask is that you keep the questions in the chat here. Be active on chat. I'm going to mute some people who just joined. Just so, hey, Tal. It's great to see you. We are recording this, just FYI, so that way we can make sure that we have something to offer everybody else that is not able to attend. So yes, we're going to get going. We have a representative from UnitedHealthcare here, so please do ask questions in the chat as I show you the new feature. And this is a pilot program, so it's only a few of the templates that are available for UnitedHealthcare individual family plans. So just be aware of that. However, if you have told us that you want us to push this into your account, we will do so shortly. Are you able to see my screen? Can somebody give me a little yes in the chat? Or Haley, maybe you can verbally tell me if this is looking good. I see.
Good to go.
Yeah.
I got you, Danielle. Yep.
Thank you, guys. Thanks. Okay. So now we have the opportunity for you to utilize templates that UnitedHealthcare has provided. There are quite a few. So first, let's look at this. There's a welcome one that we have in here. So welcome, what's next for virtual first and for the standard. So here, if we look here, it's beautifully laid out, just like UnitedHealthcare wants you to use it. I will mention, and I'll go into this in more depth after I show you a little bit about the feature, but you should not be editing this, right? This is approved from UnitedHealthcare with all the specifics. However, you might not have a cell phone that you want to add into the contact details. So you are allowed to delete this here. So if you don't want to have your cell phone in there, simply delete and then save the template, and then you can use it. So we do not advise on editing anything other than this, right? So agent name, last name, licensed independent sales agent. Your contact information is a little bit more flexible, or if you don't have a booking calendar, you can delete that. So we can delete that as well. I'm not going to save this template because I want all of that in there, but just know that those are the little elements that you can update there and edit. If you're not familiar already with our email template builder, you'll notice that these little hashtags are there with some names. That's the personalization element within the system. So this is saying, hey, computer, or hey, Radius, pull from the field name of agent first name. So that's why that's there. Does that make sense? The field name and not like something that you're just popping right in. And that agent detail pulls from account, my information, these fields. So first name, last name, phone, cell, if I had it in there, email, etc. So again, those that we call them snippets or merge tags, but those are the field names that are available. So let me go back into templates. Some of you who have been with us for so long, thank you. But also, your templates might be named drips. Just FYI, that was the old language of it, but templates is the updated language. Drips is where it lives if you're a legacy client of ours, and we appreciate you. Okay. So here we've got 30-day check-in, 60-day, 90-day. We have the welcome for the standard plan and also the virtual first plan. So you've got a lot of materials to work with already. So here we have it. Again, organized in the way that they want you to have it organized. And we have Spanish language as well. So here I've got the Spanish 30-day. It's going to look very similar except for the language. So marketing image looks the same, just in Spanish. So those templates will be available once we're able to push them into your account. We're only pushing them into people who are contracted with UHC. So if you've told us that you're contracted with them specifically for IFP products, those will get pushed into your account automatically and you'll be able to start using them. So how do you start using them? We're going to go down here to settings. We do need a few little touches prior to being able to utilize this in an automated workflow. And the two ways that we can do this are analytics. So primarily what we're going to need to do is add marketing campaign values in there. So these are all the various tables of our analytics. So hopefully you've got lead source in there already. I would add marketing campaign if you haven't already done so. All you have to do is hit add new table. And then I think I've got too many right now. So I'm going to just edit my table. You'll give it a description. You'll give it a field name and give it a sort order. And then decide if it's enabled for all of your client types or all of your record types and also for agent recruitment. If you have that feature, we're going to leave that checked off. And now we have our marketing table, but now we need the values for that table. So we're going to add values. So I'm going to add 2 values for this specific purpose. I'm going to add a value of UHC standard, or you could just make it standard if you might use this analytic plan. So standard plan or UHC standard plan, whichever is best for you. Create, add another value, virtual first. So we need both of those in there. This is going to help us automate whether it's a virtual plan or if it's a virtual first plan or if it's a standard plan. So that's one. So, and you can see here, you can add in other marketing values as well. But that's what we need in advance of building out a workflow for this specific marketing campaign. Another analytic table that you might consider if you speak more than one language in your office, have a preferred language analytic and add the values in of English, Spanish. Those are the 2 languages we have for the UHC templates. So English and Spanish, and maybe you've got some other languages that you speak as well. So that way you can ask your clients and leads what language they want to be spoken to in, so long as you speak the language for them. Okay, so that's how to build out those analytics. Hopefully, this is probably quite familiar to the vast majority of you that I see on this call. You've been pretty engaged with Radius already. So we can cover this in depth later after we go through the automated workflows. So now that we have our templates, we have our analytics, we're going to go to settings. I'm going to go to the filter to type in automated workflows, find that, click edit. And now we're going to build an automated workflow specifically for UnitedHealthcare as a carrier. We're going to add the workflow in. This is going to be UHC standard plans English. So I like to be very specific with my workflow name so it's easy for me to update and add the right materials to it. We'll stop the workflow if it no longer matches criteria. In case they cancel for some reason or another, we can stop that automation from going out to them without having to do much at all. This is going to be for clients. We now will go down here to the policy status is going to be active. The policy coverage type, we do also need to select that. So maybe this is health or whatever you've labeled it for your purposes. And then we're going to put in the preferred language of English and the marketing campaign of standard. Now, because this is only for UHC, I'm going to also select the carrier of UnitedHealthcare. So only when the client meets these criteria will any actions happen. We can also do this on the date of their effective date. So that's when we're going to start this plan, on the day of their effective date for that specific policy. Add the action of send email. So first thing we're going to do, minute 1 or maybe 3 hours later if you want to send it later in the day, because it will search against every day. It's going to look for it. Does somebody have a new effective date today, etc. So minute 1 or 3 hours later, we're going to send to the record the first template in the series. So we're going to choose welcome, what's next? IFP 2024. That's our first template that we'll use. Now we're going to add in some other ones for the 30, 60, 90-day touches. Send email. I skipped that already. So 30 days later to the record, we send them the 30-day. Save action. 60-day. So this is 60 days from when the trigger was pulled, which was their effective date. $90 days. From when the trigger was pulled, which was, again, their effective date. You can add other things in here, like, a text message, if they've given consent to text. You can add in call cues. You can do a whole slew of other actions. But right now, I'm just going to focus only on these templates. So now we've built out this one workflow, but we have virtual first as well. So what do? We're going to go to Workflow Home. I'm going to look for that one that I've created already, and I'm simply going to hit copy. I am now going to just change it a little bit and make this virtual first plans. And instead of the marketing campaign of standard, I'm going to choose virtual first. I have to save this and it's going to kick me out. That's the only negative. So I save the trigger, but now I've got that new trigger. I'm going to edit this one. And now I'm going to just change that first email into the virtual first email. So now that's there for you. Save that action. That English one is now done. We can also then go back and duplicate this for the Spanish language preference. So UHC, standard plans. Oops, I meant to copy that, not to edit it. UHC, copy. Okay. Now this is going to be UHC Spanish. Then we just switch out the templates and the not the marketing campaign, switch out word language to Spanish. And then I've got to go through and update those Spanish. I just update those templates. So obviously, if you don't speak Spanish, you're not doing this, right? But then all we have to do is replace those email templates. So Spanish, standard, save, then go through the rest. I don't want to have to go through all of that. Oops, I am drawing on something. Oh, Frank is drawing. So I don't want to go through all of that stuff again to just switch out those edits, but that's how that works. Then when I apply this to a client's file, so if I add in a policy for this person of health, policy status is active, UnitedHealthcare, let's give him a virtual first. So I'm going to go with bronze, put in the effective date, the renewal date, the app submit date, which is the sale date. If you already have the policy number, wonderful, put that in. Anything else that's needed, save that information. It will not trigger the workflow yet because I haven't said what marketing campaign and what language. So he's English, which is great. And now all I need to do is go to my standard plan, or I did virtual first. So virtual first plan here. I save the update. Okay. Now, if I go down here, the workflow will be triggered. And I can see it down here in my triggers. So that will go out like that. Okay. So basically you just need to make sure the triggers are there and then the campaign will launch. I am sure there are questions. Let me check in on this. Sorry. Yes. Great. So the virtual first is a type of plan that UHC offers. If you are not selling that plan, do not worry about it. But if you end up selling that plan, if you want to, you would just go down to settings, go to products, and then you can either add a product or at one at a time, or you could just paste the product list. So if I grab that, if I grab that from here, I can paste that in. And that's going to be the product name. I set up the commission structure and I save so that I can apply that product to my clients.
And we can probably let Andrea speak to it, but I think there's just some benefit differentiation there. That's why there's a unique set of templates for that particular virtual first product.
Exactly right.
And you can learn about them in the template. You can go right here. Once we add these in, you can delete any that are not going to be relevant to you. But if you go in here, you can actually learn about the offerings here. It's just giving you some basic information about, make sure that you look out for this. The Galileo app is what's being utilized for the virtual first care. So yeah, that's how that works. Any other questions? I know some people joined late, so I did cover everything as far as like the templates, how to build the triggers, and then how to create the automated workflows. However, we have a bunch of time left, so I do want to make sure that people are secure on what we've talked about. Is there anything that I should go over again? Andrea, Clue, Haley, anything that would be of use?
Well, one of the things that I just wanted to speak to is just sort of the context of this, of why we created these specific materials, because we found that we got a lot of feedback from the field that sort of the next question was, okay, I signed up for it, but what's going to happen now? What am I supposed to be looking for? When's it coming in? What am I going to get? And so we're hoping that these types of materials can kind of replace that additional call and information that they might have once they sign up.
Yeah. And it's great for client retention. The
Mm-hmm.
typical metric is touch somebody 6 times a year if they're a client. This gives you 4 touches immediately of them becoming a client. So, and touches can be, call them, send them a postcard, do all the other things. You can build out more actions, but this is a really helpful content element that you can then have at your disposal. So that way you're 4 touches down towards your goal of that client retention target.
It's also nice because it'll really drill down on some of those exacts for the benefit features that they have throughout the year, so that you don't have to field all the questions about what they can use, what they can't use. They can kind of self-serve from that as well.
Yeah.
And I'll add, I think what's really exciting about this on so many levels is us as in Radius and Agency Block getting to work with the folks over at UnitedHealthcare to bring more value to you, the agents and subscribers to the platforms. So this is the exact same material you can get from Jarvis. We've just done it in a way that it's already in your account and it's available and it's accessible and it has the ability to do all those automated workflows Daniel just covered, right? So not necessarily a set and forget it, but just another way to help get you focused on, on your selling and your retention and trying to make it as easy as possible. So you can go about your day job and letting the system help you do that heavy lift for you. So
Yeah.
And it's also a good support for us to be able to provide you throughout, your book of business, to be able to just do that heavy lift of some of the benefit explanation too.
Exactly. Um, Rebecca asked if the recording will be available tomorrow. Absolutely. If I can get it posted sooner, I will do so. Most likely tomorrow, though. Yeah. So, I mean, these templates are wonderful. Again, if you want to check them out, they'll be in your account as soon as possible, but by tomorrow sometime. But if you go into templates, or if you're a legacy client of ours, in drips, and then you can look here. If you just type in the filter UHC into the filter, then you'll be able to see all of the various templates that they have available for you to use. If you do not speak Spanish and don't intend to hire anybody to speak Spanish, you can delete those. If you don't speak English, or if your team primarily only markets to Spanish speakers, delete the English ones. But you could also just keep them in there, so that way you have them if you do end up hiring somebody who is bilingual or whatnot. Clicking into edit, just make sure you're only editing this section here. This is your agent details are the only things that you are allowed to edit within, keeping this to a UHC provided content element. So just be aware of that. You can tweak this a little bit so that if you don't have your cell phone, delete it. If you don't want to put your calendar link in there, delete it. So you can edit this aspect of it, just this contact information, and then hit save template when you're done. And then you will make sure to use those analytics fields in settings, analytics for the marketing campaign. You can edit those values, add a new value, give it a description of virtual first or standard plan. If you speak multiple languages or have people in the office who do, make sure you have a preferred language. Add the values in of English versus Spanish. So that way then you can go to settings, automated workflows, build out the first part of the workflow, one workflow. You'll set the trigger. You'll set the trigger, which is at the top. We'll keep it checked for stop workflow if no longer matches criteria, in case they cancel the plan. Carriers, UnitedHealthcare, policy status is active, policy coverage type is health. You do need, in any policy related automation, you have to have these selected, just FYI. You can have a policy status equals canceled for a campaign for canceled plans if you wanted to, but just make sure that you have those criteria met in there. Marketing campaign, you'll choose which is, if it's the standard or virtual first, preferred language, if you are going to be using that field for English versus Spanish, on date of the effective date, and then you just add the actions to add in those emails. Once you've done one, you can go back to workflow home and then hit copy to just tweak it. So that copy feature is really helpful. So that way you can be specific. When you hit copy though, just know that it's going to say copy of, so you want to be super specific. So this is going to be second attempt Spanish in this case, right? So you always want to be very specific as to which version of it is. Okay.
Danielle, we have a few questions coming in chat as well.
Thank you. So so a few things. Kristen asks, how do we request to have these pushed to us? If you attended today, I'm automatically going to get that into the system for you sometime tomorrow. And if somebody just requested it in the help app, then we will push them in. So if you know somebody who's not here that might want them in their account, just let us know and we'll get those added. Andrea asks, do you anticipate additional templates for more plans through UHC to be made available soon? Andrea at UHC, would you
Yes.
address that?
Yeah. So this is our first sort of attempt. So we're hoping so, and really wanting to learn from this. If these are being utilized, how much you like them, if you're looking for more, just kind of what the content is that you would like to see from us. So this is just our first sort of test to see what else we can provide.
Thank you. Yes, Clue made a very good point. As a reminder, you have to be an account owner or an account administrator. So that way the templates would be in your, you would have access to the templates and building out the analytics and the automations. So if you're at an agent level, that would not be available to you. You would just need to ask your admin, be like, hey, this is great. We should do this. As you use these features, we would love to get your feedback. This would be extraordinarily helpful to just get some feedback on it. Is this helping you with retention? Is it making your life easier? Is it making your life harder? But just let us know how it's going for you. So that way we can look and see, you know, is there anything more that we can do with this relationship to make it easier for you guys? And if there's any specific, you know, examples that you can give of things that are like most valuable to you that UHC provides, let us know and we can look at that. Let me check out a couple things. I did not see the question. Thank you, Haley, had flagged about importing carrier policies and products. I don't want to go into the specifics of all the commission stuff, but if you, let me just see here, sorry. I think you're seeing this. If you get a list of all of your products, you can go to settings. You can go to products, edit. If you have a list of like the carrier names and the product names, you can do it in a CSV file. It has to have one column for carrier. So it just say UnitedHealthcare, 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 and then all the product names. So you can import it that way, or you can just hit add product, select a carrier of UnitedHealthcare, and then you can paste a list in here, just one per row. So imagine that I was pasting this instead of typing it. So this would be like UHC Bronze, UHC Bronze, Virtual First, blah, blah, blah. So you could import it all, just make sure it's one per row. So just paste that in there. I do have some examples for you. So I can give you the naming conventions that UHC has provided for the Virtual First ones. I don't know if that will be helpful for you, but I will paste it into the chat in a second. Then of course, you'll set up your commission structure and save that template. Also, If this already exists in the system and you hit save, it will not duplicate the carrier. So good thing is, so long as it's named exactly the same, you would not need that. I want to clarify to somebody, somebody asked, since I'm an LOA, will I need to go through my general agent first? The permission levels are actually if you're the account owner or admin of Radius, not necessarily your relationship to the account, your FMO or LOA or whatever it is. So if you own Radius as a CRM, you have access to the settings. Yeah. So, but if you're agent level access, you do not have those kinds of features, but you would just ask the person who is the account owner at Radius. Saw one other question. Since we're talking about workflows, I did see one question since we've got a little extra time. Will we have the ability to capture client RX in a similar workflow? Yes, you can add that to the workflow. It is in automations. You just enable you enable the self-service portal. So that's a whole separate thing, but yes, there is an option for that. So if you're doing an AAP client review, you can add an action in here to enable self-service. And that self-service portal allows them a secure portal to update their their prescriptions and providers. And we're going to cover that in depth in our AAP Prep Academy, which I should be emailing you about shortly. The dates are going to be in mid-August, and that's when we help you get set for open enrollment. And we go through how to edit your email templates, how to create some text templates, things like that, super specific and actionable. So that's going to really help. And that can be one of your actions. Okay. Anything else? Any feedback so far? Tabitha asks, are there trainings available to link portals? Not sure what exactly the linking of the portal is, but if you're setting up, the carrier, for example, this is again in settings on the left-hand side column, and I go to carrier, and then you go to UnitedHealthcare. You can add their website information here. So if there's like a portal that you have for UnitedHealthcare.com/agent portal, for example, you can add that in there. And then in this document section, you can attach their schedule of benefits. You can add a ton of product information, whatever you want there. And then here, this is where you can then attach the portal to UnitedHealthcare.com agent portal. I'm sure that that's not the address. And you can even name it something different. So it could be like UHC agent portal, right? So agent access, lead view, client view. The category is going to be agent job aid or carrier document. Let's put it as agent job. And then you're going to assign it to either all products or a specific product, because some things you need are just for a specific product. So now if I'm in a client file, I have access to that as I'm in the person's file, if they have UnitedHealthcare. If they don't, then we do not have the link available for them. But it would be in here for you. I should go to website links. So here you go. If you go to website links, it's right there. You can just click on it. And it's down here in the left-hand side as well in carrier info. You can scroll down to the UnitedHealthcare or use this handy dandy filter. And then just click on And it's obviously not the right portal name, so it didn't go anywhere, but that's how you do it. Okay. Oh, it's so nice to hear this positive feedback in general. I am really very happy to hear this. And I'm really excited for this partnership. I think it's going to be very helpful. I see somebody who says, I feel like I'm not utilizing everything Radius has to offer. Yeah, get on those trainings. I love our client work sessions where you can come in, you can sign up for every single day if you want to. They're group work sessions, but we go through and we'll say, okay, great. You want to activate those automations for the UHC template? Wonderful. Go to templates. Let's double check that your agent details are the way that you want them. Great. We're done with that. Now go to marketing analytics. Get those set. Wonderful. So I will handhold you through that whole process, or Haley will. So we'll be able to help you with that. That's only available to active clients. If you're on a trial of Radius, just be aware that you still can come to all of the daily demos that we have. And you can also join our featured feature. That is really a helpful thing. So I will most likely do a featured feature on this exact topic sometime next month again. And that's just 30 minutes where we only talk about one feature and we don't talk about anything else. So that way you can dive in one topic at a time, because we recognize it's a very powerful CRM, and sometimes that can be a little overwhelming. I am going to reply to you, Ediana, in the link in here. If you give me your email, you can reply to that direct message that I sent to you. But I'll also grab, if you go to help.radiusbob.com, here's the featured feature. Thanks. Grab that for later. Okay, so the featured feature is here. And you can see what trainings we have for this month. I have to update that for next month because I can't believe it's already done. You can look at our history of our little, featured features that we've had in the past. So this week it was creating a July 4th campaign. And then, so this is our featured feature article for you. I'll put this in for everybody. And just know that the settings level, you do have to be an account owner or admin. So you still are very welcome to any of these trainings. However, if you are not an admin or account owner, you won't be able to do all of the work, like creating the analytics and automations. And then I will also send you, Ediana, I will send you the client work session invite as well. But yes, please make use of it. And if you ever just are like, hey, I don't have the client work session thing, just click down here in this helpful little help app, send us a message, ask a question, give us the question, we'll give you the answer. But you can also always search for articles here as well. Just FYI, you can always, if you're in the bottom right of Radius, you'll see that search for help. You can look in and say, I need help with automations. And then it'll give you articles on that. Thank you, Suha. We really do our best. Haley is the fastest at answering questions and so knowledgeable, and it makes such a massive difference. Haley, is there anything that I missed here?
I don't think so. I'm just really excited about this. This is a great looking template, like right out of the gate, no building. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. Andrea, anything from you before we jump? Clue? I think Clue might have jumped actually.
Yeah, just gratitude. This is such an exciting partnership for us. So please utilize it. Let us know what you think about it. Hopefully there's more to come, and just really appreciate the partnership.
Thank you all so much for your attention. Please let me know what questions you have, how I can be of help. The client work sessions are a great time to do that. But just pop into the chat, let us know what we need to do. I'll talk to y'all later and I'll post this very soon.